everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the drinking show with a Gen X problem. I am Laura Lavoie, and I'm here, well, at a distance with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Yeah, online with Bill.
I am online with Bill. That actually was the original concept of the show because we started it as a pandemic hobby.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it was always online with Bill.
Seems like a lifetime ago.
It really does. It really, really does. But anyway, welcome. How are you, Bill?
I'm doing okay today. Yeah. We're having unseasonably sort of chilly weather, I would almost say. Like it's been it's monsoon season also. So it's been raining like hell for a week, but also it's not gotten above 73, I don't think, all week, and it's supposed to stay that way through next Saturday, I believe. Not this coming Saturday, but through this coming Saturday. Sorry, I looked at this back on Thursday because I was curious what it was doing, and it was going to stay in the 70s through the following Saturday, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. If it would hold on to Labor Day, I'd really appreciate it. That'd be swell.
Yeah, we would like that, especially in Atlanta. Although Atlanta is typically 10 degrees hotter.
I looked at the Atlanta weather the other day, and it was in the low 80s, which I'll still take over 100. So if we could get low 80s in Atlanta at Labor Day, that'd be swell.
Absolutely. Well, and of course, we're both preparing for our annual pilgrimage to Atlanta for Dragon Con.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of consuming most of our time and efforts and
mental faculties.
We're like 9 days away.
I got my pre-Dragon Con hair snipped. Did you see? It didn't get much cut off because I was doing a thing, but I wanted it tidied up. I went in and I said, "Hey, I want this, but like a little neater." And I showed the lady a picture of Ewan McGregor, and she said, "Well, you already look like that guy." And I was like, "Yeah, but neater."
Yeah. I have a hair appointment next Tuesday, and it'll be the first time I've had my hair professionally cut since like December. And when I had COVID in April, I was depressed because COVID makes you depressed, and I was angry and I was sick, and I never thought I would get better, so I cut my own hair. Don't do that when you're like
bangs, though, did you?
No, thank God. Thank God. Oh God, that would have been awful.
Do it with the safety scissors.
Oh goodness. Oh gosh, yes. So what are you drinking? What do you got going on over there?
I'm starting tonight. Well, I pre-gamed what I have. I had some. I don't even fucking remember. I had a Hefeweizen, but I don't remember who made it. Guidon maybe out of Hendersonville.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. And then I had a Bell's Lager of the Lakes.
Yes, tasty.
But then I'm drinking a Spratz premium lager. Spratz.
Okay.
Spratz.
All right.
I liked how plain the label was. It was like Schaefer, or something like that. It was like very on the, but no, this Spratz is, it says it's, who makes this? Brewed by Town Brewing in Charlotte. That's who's doing this.
All right. Yeah, I like that. I like the can too. I like the design. It reminds me of the old Stroh's out of Michigan way back.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's got that old school cheap ass beer feel.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm starting with. Then I've got one here called Boat Wave.
Ooh.
Boat Wave, which is a lemon ginger sort of thing.
All right.
A lemon ginger wheat, sorry, and it's from American Solera, who I don't know where they're out of, but they're somewhere in North Carolina. I got it off the rack from the locals, so it's got to be somewhere, probably around Charlotte or suburb of Charlotte or some I don't know.
Right.
I don't know where that's at. I'll have to look that up later. American Solera.
All right.
And then I've got, to finish it all off, because it's been unseasonably chilly, I know Laura's got a hard and fast rule about this, but I don't have such a rule, and I have been drinking some Oktoberfest, and this one is the Boojum
The Boojum.
Oktoberfest, which I like the can art. I bought it for the can art. I had a Founders Oktoberfest yesterday. I also bought for the can art, and it was really good.
Well, when we had that Oktoberfest in the hot mid-July, and it was too much, because it was so hot and it just was too much. And in the past, I've brought Oktoberfest to Dragon Con, so I figure that's sort of my cutoff,
Yeah.
But I just have not gotten out of these lights right now, and I imagine at some point I'll switch.
The bottle shop, and they were like, summer beer was gone, and like pumpkin and Oktoberfests are in. I mean, this boat wave, I guess this must be the last of the summer beers.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a pontoon boat on it, right? So that's a summer beer, but for the most part, yeah, it was like they were all stocked up on Oktoberfest, and I've seen a lot of pumpkin beers in the stores already, and I'm like, the weather is favorable for it right now. But in previous summers, I know in late August, you go to the store. Sometimes you're like doing something out in the yard, and you're like you're looking for like a nice light lawnmower beer, and everything in the store is Oktoberfest and pumpkin beer. You're like, God damn it! Like, I don't want that.
Stop it. But yes, it will soon be fall beer season, so I don't think you're that far off. And it's tasty, delicious. So
yeah.
All right, so we are doing something a little bit different with today's episode. So viewers, we hope you participate because we're going to play a game. And let me pop this up here on the screen. So before you do a monologue, I just did air quotes, but nobody can see me. Before you do a monologue, I'll explain the game. So it's Gen X Bingo. Somebody somewhere on the internet created this. It's a whole bunch of shit that we did when we were kids in the 80s and 90s. And it's pretty freaking spot on. So we thought we'd do a whole show just about this. So we're going to go through, instead of playing it like, calling numbers and doing that thing, we're going to go through all of them. You can mark your card. And then whoever has the most or fill your card at the end wins the game. The prize is absolutely nothing. We don't care. Everything sucks. So
no, there is a prize.
What's the prize?
Whoever gets the most, I will send them a Bill Has Opinions decal.
Nice. You will spend $1.50 on stamps to send a decal. Hey, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
All right, folks.
So yeah, just reach out if you got the most at the end of the thing.
So before we start the actual game,
okay,
I thought maybe you should give us a little bit of because obviously we've styled this show because we realized very early on that everything we said and did was exceptionally Gen X. And so we've kind of styled the show around that. So will you give us just a quick little monologue about what it is to be Generation X?
What is it? I don't know, man. I guess the best summary I've heard is just that we were the latchkey kids. We were raised by people who, they had another agenda. I mean, they knew there were I guess they were bullied into having children, but they didn't really wanna. and they had their own shit going on, and so they kind of take care of yourselves, and that's sort of our generational cross to bear, is that we're self-sufficient to some degree. We've all got some sort of trust issues usually, and know that if we're gonna get lunch, we got to fix it ourselves,
Right? Yeah, we're self-sufficient kind of to a fault, because often we won't accept help from anybody because we're like, nah, fuck it, it's easier to do it myself.
Right. Well, or you don't like the quality of the help that's given, so you're just like, it's too much bother. I'll just do it, and it'll be exactly what I want,
Exactly.
You could fix me a ham sandwich, but it won't be the ham sandwich I want. it'll be the ham sandwich I'm settling for. Whereas I could just go in the kitchen and make the damn ham sandwich I want, right? So I think that's some of it. You know, that's it's, you know, I want to go on a slight divert. Oh, this is related. Because the first time I heard the phrase Generation X was there was a book called Generation X, a novel. What was the guy's name? Something Copeland, I think. I bought that book in high school. I bought it. You know, people always say you can't judge a book by its cover. They're wrong. Oftentimes, I have purchased a novel because I liked the graphic design on the cover, and this was one of them. It struck me in the store. Also, the book was the right thickness for me. Like, it wasn't daunting. It wasn't like some bullshit Scientology like trilogy, you know, or something where they're like this thick and there's 9 of them. You know, you know, it's like I've got friends who are very into Dune, and I'm not into Dune because the guy wrote too many fucking books, and I don't care. Like, you know, like brevity, that's a thing. Like you should be able to tell a story in a short amount. Anyway, I'm a fan of a short novella, really, and
right.
that's kind of what Generation X was. It was a short novella, and it told its story. It got in, it got out. Nobody got hurt.
You know? Well, and we were constantly under threat. Like, I get that kids today, like school shootings and all that, like that's some terrible shit, right? But we were literally like, we thought that we were going to get bombed.
Yes.
We had bomb drills in school. And then, you know, like that movie, what was that movie called that came out? Yeah. And like we all watched that. Like it was a regular after school special. And it literally showed children being obliterated. And then we just had to go about our day. Like, this is fine.
And if you watch any of the sci-fi from that time period too, it all started off with, this happens 5 years after the apocalypse, you know, right? You know, and it would be like, this is 1996, 5 years after the Holocaust, you know.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
We fully expected it to be the end any day. You know, it's funny. I just noticed in the last week, I was driving around the other day. My wife got a new car, and so she's got the free trial of Sirius XM for a minute until they think it's lit. And in 1999, yeah, it does evoke of it. But the other thing I noticed was I was listening to a Smith song, and I never realized how fucking hung up on the apocalypse Morrissey was. But I was listening. I mean, he mentions it in more than one song, actually. Like, so apparently he had some serious Gen X, you know, Cold War jitters.
Right.
About the world ending any day now. And the guy's an asshole now. You know, I don't like him for his politics. And he was always kind of an asshole. And I always didn't like him for his personal choices. But good songwriter back in the day. And, you know, but anyway, I was just, it struck me that I was listening to the song Every Day is Like Sunday, which is Morrissey off his first solo album.
Right.
But, and that one evokes to, you know, a seaside town that forgot to close down after Armageddon. You know, it's funny because it's also like it forgot to close down for the winter, but also it forgot to close down for nuclear winter, you know. But then also I remember the song Ask, he keeps talking about the bomb. And I think there's 2 or 3 other songs where he talks about it briefly. You know, he's always like, you know, but yeah, him and Prince and the Ramones.
Yes.
I'll allude to it a lot about, you know, the idea that we could, Ronnie's got a bomb and we could all die any day, you know?
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what we grew up with. That's what we lived with. We were apathetic. And then at the same time, pretty sure we were going to be bombed to death. So yeah. I think that's why we're apathetic. We're like, well, nothing we can do about it.
It made us nihilists at an early age.
Yeah,
we realized the silliness of the whole existence.
Exactly.
Which is not, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, there were French people in the 40s who felt that way.
Right.
but
Right.
but after that, like I think we were like the first like whole generation to feel that way, just like this is all pointless and it's silly, and so let's just try to find some bullshit to fill the time in the minute.
Right. Right. Yes. No, that defines us. So let's do a real quick station break here.
Yeah.
And then get into the game. So I selected my sister's wonderful business, Colors of Kindness greeting cards, partially because she's 11 years older than I am. So we represent kind of the end spectrums of Gen X. Mm-hmm. So we have very different Gen X experiences, but they're still Gen X. Like she grew up in the 70s, graduated high school in the early 80s. So she has that level of Gen X. And then I have that early 90s grunge angst. So I wanted to point it out. Plus, as Bill said earlier, greeting cards and bingo cards are very similar. So check out Colors of Kindness on Facebook.
I said that earlier before the show. They didn't hear me say it, but yeah.
No, that's true. That is correct. Yes. I bet she could also make you a bingo card if you want her to.
Yeah.
Like, she'll do custom designs. If you want a bingo card, get a bingo card.
You know what? I've been meaning, this is another side trip. I've been meaning to make a Dragon Con bingo card for a while, for years. I made a really cool, we made some road trip bingo cards once, several years ago. And they were pretty funny. I have to dig them out. I think actually I got a picture of them somewhere on my Facebook page.
Nice.
But yeah, I love doing bingo cards, that kind of thing. Those sorts of things, like sort of the I Spy bingo,
Yeah, like this one, as opposed to like B12.
Yeah, B12. No. I mean, I like regular bingo when I win.
Well, sure. But yeah, I kind of like this. It's not quite trivia. It's more like I Spy. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get started with the game. So I wanted to pop the game back up for a second so we could at least all together see the first one. I do have them all written down, though. So the first one's kind of a softball. I'm pretty sure that both of us have it. Used a card catalog.
Yeah, man, I still remember most of the Dewey Decimal System. You know what the biggest kick in the pants to me was? When I got to college and everything was fucking Library of Congress. After they made you spend years memorizing the goddamn Dewey Decimal System. It was a perfectly good system, by the way. I don't really understand Library of Congress. It's kind of like the switch off from like regular arithmetic to algebra.
Right. Yeah, I have to say, though, I don't remember how, now that the internet is literally on tiny devices at our fingertips, I couldn't tell you how to find a book in a library.
Yeah.
Not from scratch. Like, I'm like, if I know I want like a children's book, I can go to the children's section, but I couldn't go to a card catalog and figure that shit out anymore.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't need to, though, because I can just download a book. Like, I don't need to do any of
that. Say this about card catalogs, man. A card catalog drawer bureau, goes for top fucking dollar on the antique market nowadays.
Absolutely.
Those and post office boxes and Chinese apothecaries kind of all fill the same niche, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
My wife really wanted a card catalog bureau for a while, and we couldn't find one under like $2,000, and I don't know if we gave up on it or just like, I don't know, but we haven't looked in a while.
Right. No, they're expensive. They're very, very expensive. All right, I want to put this back up. Let's move on to the next square, and don't forget, play at home. Oh wait, I've got a comment. Hold on, let me see what the comment is.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Jay. Well, Jay, I mean, you have kind of that skill set, so I get it. All right. So the next one, this one is near and dear to my heart. Wore a flannel shirt over a band tee.
Well, so I'll say this. I grew up in the South, so you wore a flannel shirt around your waist.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was too goddamn hot. Like you might wear it to the club, but as soon as you got in the club, you took that shit off and tied it around your waist.
Yeah, so but I'd say that counts.
More than often, I wore my flannel shirt around my waist.
Right. That was my like high school uniform. That's all I wore. Like jeans and a band t-shirt and a flannel shirt. That's it. Every day.
It actually wasn't a go-to look for me, but I do remember doing it at least once or twice, you know. I wasn't as big a fan of the flannels at the time, so.
And I do think that is our era of Gen X, like the that's a very grunge era. Well, like cheese metal and grunge era of Generation X.
Sure.
Like, you know, somebody who was listening to new wave in the early 80s wasn't doing this.
Right, absolutely.
So, but yes, and I agree, jean jacket for sure. Yes, and even in the summer.
Was the jean jacket acid wash though?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mine absolutely. I'll tell you something. I had a jean jacket that was oh my God, it was so comfortable. It was acid washed. So it was, you know, those were kind of like worn in a little bit. Right. And that thing, by the end of art school, that thing was falling apart. Like the sleeves were hanging on by threads.
Right.
And when I went to art school, I decided I was going to dye my jeans, like my acid wash jeans. I guess I decided the acid wash thing was kind of passe. So I decided I was going to dye it black, but I was not the kind of person who really read the directions on home dyeing, you know. So it came out kind of a dingy gray.
Right. So it was acid wash dingy gray.
Acid wash dingy gray jean jacket falling apart. And then I was really into at the time. I was really into this beat poet Richard Brautigan.
And
I read this one novel of his called Trout Fishing in America, and there's a story in it about this kid who, the older kids were writing Trout Fishing in America on the back of like the kindergartners with chalk, you know, on all their clothes. And I thought it was funny. And so I wrote Trout Fishing in America on the back of my jean jacket with acrylic paint. And I wore that to art school and nobody ever got it. And one day this lady on the street saw me wearing it and she stopped me and asked me, she said, "Hey, look, or is that a reference to the band?" I had no idea there was a band called Trout Fishing in America. Apparently it's some sort of a jammy, jazzy bluegrass type outfit, which would horrify me because it was not the kind of thing I would like. I think I threw the jacket away after that. Like, fuck it. Nah, you know, because I liked that she thought it could have been a reference to the book, and I told her yes, indeed, it was a reference to the book. I had no idea there was a band, but when I found out what kind of band they were, I was like, I have no interest in advertising for that shit.
We're done with that.
We're done with this crap.
Awesome. All right, moving on. Let me put it back up here. Called a 1-900 hotline.
So I said yes to this one, although technically I called a 976 number. Does that?
That counts because remember when they got too many 800 and 900 numbers, they had to expand the.
Okay, so the one I called, this was advertised on MTV at the time. It was 1976 Freaks. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
The Freaks are in the phone line,
mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I called it. Because I guess, you know, but I was just morbidly curious. Like, what the fuck is this all about? Like, I called it, and it was as dumb as you could expect.
Right.
I don't think I was on very long. I hung up before I ran a bill up, thankfully, or my mother would have been very upset. But that's my one experience with that kind of thing, calling a.
I never did. And for that reason, I wasn't allowed. Like, there's no way I could have made a phone call that would have resulted in money being spent. Like, I would have been so grounded.
So at one point in my youth, I found out how to make an international phone call. And this was prior to the internet. So I'd never spoken to anyone in a foreign country before. And I was enthralled with the idea. So I called someone in Sydney, Australia one time. Just
nice.
Because I wanted to talk to someone who, you know, and then I got shy and hung up. Like immediately, like I basically said I had the wrong number, you know, and hung up. But I talked to an Australian and I thought it was the most like, hey, you know, and
Nice, nice. All right, here's one. Did you drink the original Crystal Pepsi?
Once here, I don't remember exactly what year this came out, but I remember it was my birthday party. I was either 18 or 19. I can't recall which. But I bought a bottle for my birthday party. I want to say I was turning 19. I really think it was 19. Like I was home from college, I think, for the first year or something, and I bought a bottle out of morbid curiosity, and it lived up to my low expectations of it. It was like Sprite without the zing. It was just basically like if you carbonated corn syrup. That's what
right. Yeah, I to my recollection, I do not believe I ever tried it. I know that my sister loved the original Crystal Pepsi because they had it and then they stopped making it and then they started making it again, but it wasn't the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was different or not, but I mean, they stopped making it because it was a flop because it was awful.
Right.
Why would you want that shit? Like it was just a gimmick. It was like, oh, hey, this is
Pepsi, but not Pepsi.
Right. Yeah. We put some other shit in a Pepsi bottle. Ha ha.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So here's a good one. I think this is one we can all relate to. Fished a toy out of a cereal box with your bare hands.
I mean, what were you supposed to put on gloves?
Well, I think the idea was that you'd wait until you ate all the cereal to get the toy out, but who the hell does that?
No, children don't have the patience for that kind of shit. You just, you got it home and you immediately dug in there and found the damn toy.
Well, and you do the shaking thing,
try
to get it in a place where you could just grab the edge of the toy package.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I remember specifically I'm sure I did it more than once, but the one I remember was in a box of cereal called C3POs, which was obviously a Star Wars tie-in. It was a Kellogg's product. However, it didn't taste like any Kellogg's cereal that they've ever made. It tasted like King Vitamin.
Right.
Basically, which King Vitamin, to those who aren't in the know, I don't think they make that anymore either, do they?
No, they do not.
Okay, so King Vitamin is kind of like if you took the grain part out the marshmallows.
Right.
Which Lucky Charms are essentially Cheerios, but they're frosted. They're like frosted Cheerios.
Right.
With marshmallows. Okay, so it's a frosted oat product is what C3POs were. They were like little bricks. They didn't have anything to do with C3PO. They were just these little frosted oat bricks. I liked it. I liked the taste and I liked the texture. I bought several boxes of them before they quit making it. I was always a fan of whatever cereal got discontinued, by the way. But
that's fair.
The first box of C3POs had a little plastic. It was like a rocket. I don't know. It was a rocket ship, but you launched it it was basically like a rocket with another rocket that fit into it like a syringe, and so it would create air pressure.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
It would go pop, and it would fly across the room. And I remember fishing that guy out of the C3POs.
Nice. Oops. Well, all right. Now I guess since I accidentally clicked on that, let's move on.
You don't remember your toy?
I do not remember the toy, like my favorite toy or anything like that, but we didn't always get cereal with toys, because my family we were often like just Cheerios or Corn Flakes.
And then at some point in the late '80s, I think that the FDA decided that toys didn't belong in food products because some kid choked on one or something.
Yeah, right. Like you don't know how to not eat the toy, but they started just putting it inside, like in its own package inside the box, like outside of the food.
Well, then after that, you had to send off for it. Like you could get the toy, but you had to save like 8 proofs of purchases and then send off. It wouldn't be included in the toy. I mean, in the cereal anymore. And to that end, Kinder Eggs. You remember Kinder Eggs from England? They couldn't import them here because the FDA has rules about toys don't go in food product.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny to me because the 80s were a time when something could happen and there would be a government response to it, right? Like a kid would choke on a toy, no more toys in food.
Yes.
A kid got hit in the head with a lawn dart. No more lawn darts. And
Right.
now you can go into the mall and kill 1,000 people, and they don't do anything. They're
And
like,
no more guns. Yeah.
We can't stop this kind of shit. We don't know what to do about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing that I just don't even.
But back then, I remember speaking of proofs of purchases, sending off for a Boba Fett action figure with proofs of purchases from another Star Wars action figure. And initially, the Boba Fett action figure, the first version of it, shot a rocket. And by the time I got my Boba Fett, the rocket was glued into his backpack because some kid got hit in the eye or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying the 80s was a time, and this is to remind all these people who put those things up there like, oh, people now are pussies, blah, blah, blah. No, in the 80s, if something happened, the government reacted to it, and it was a killjoy for fucking everybody.
Exactly.
So, lest you forget, your Boba Fett didn't have a launching rocket because some kid got hit in the eye with one. And,
and that's why we are Generation X.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a good one. Make juice from frozen concentrate in a can.
Yeah, I did that.
Can you even get that anymore?
I don't know, man. I feel like the last time I remember even seeing it in the grocery store, I don't even remember it being juice. It was like mixers for like Bacardi or something.
Right. Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's like margarita mix or something in a concentrate can, but I don't know if they still make it or not. If anybody does know, holler at us, let us know. Cause I don't go looking for it, I guess.
Right. Well, at this point, I'd rather just buy juice. I also remember, this is not really a thing you do anymore. I think you can still buy the packets, but I don't think it's as readily available. Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. So when you would mix the, 4 cups of sugar with 1 packet of Kool-Aid,
right,
and put the water in it, that's insane. But
they don't sell powdered drink anymore.
I don't know because I think you can buy it as in its already sweetened
jug. Okay.
Yeah, in the jug. So it already sweetened. So you just put 2 scoops of it in.
For many years, I had a vintage collection of Kool-Aid flavors that were no longer being produced that I was saving for a special occasion, such as Pink Flamingo and Sharkleberry Finn.
Yes, we have discussed these options on this very show. They're good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Okay.
I like it. All right. So, put that back. Here we go. Attended a birthday party at a fast food restaurant.
I think my 3rd birthday was at McDonald's.
Nice. So not only did you attend, you hosted.
I hosted. And you know who else was there?
Ronald McDonald?
That's right. Ronald McDonald. The clown himself. I remember this. He told a joke, and I still remember the joke to this day. The joke was, what's black and dangerous and lives in a tree?
What's black and dangerous and lives in a tree?
A crow with a machine gun.
Oh, all right. I mean, that wouldn't be wrong.
And I remember it because it's such a kind of a non sequitur, weird sort of joke,
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yes. So
also a little dark for kids, but
it's although that's another thing.
A scary clown. So,
Well, that's another thing I think Gen X, nobody pulled any punches with us. We watched that Day After Tomorrow movie. We watched things that we shouldn't have watched.
There was a meme going around a week or 2 ago, and it had a picture of all the McDonaldland characters.
Yeah.
And it said, "Hey, Dad, did you have scary movies when you were a kid?" And it said, "We had scary everything when I was a kid."
Exactly. That is correct. Exactly. So I know I went to birthday parties at fast food restaurants, probably McDonald's most of the time. I never had a birthday at a fast food restaurant. My mom had very specific rules about how to celebrate birthdays. Mm-hmm. And I was only allowed to have 3 total parties in my life. One for my 5th birthday, one for my 10th birthday, one for my 16th birthday. So those did not occur at or about restaurants.
So you never had a skating rink party either, huh?
Nope, no, sure didn't.
Damn. But you
Sure
went to a
didn't.
skating rink party, right?
So I was the nerdy kid that pretended I was a burnout, and I don't like to skate. So I'm pretty sure I went to a skating rink once or twice as a kid, but I didn't really like it. Okay. So I wouldn't do it on purpose.
I see. Well, there was an arcade too.
Yeah, exactly. Gremlins is marketed as a children's movie.
It's also a Christmas film.
Yes. But it is appropriate for neither of those things.
It's like, hey, here's a horror movie for children at Christmas.
It's perfect. It's perfect. All right, Bill, here's your moment to shine. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Are you ready? Can you still imitate the dial-up sound?
Here we go. Wee! Bong bong.
Perfect. I cannot impersonate it, but it's in my head on the regular. So I know the sound in my soul, but I can't make it. Yeah. Like the same thing with singing. Like I hear songs in my head, and if I try to sing them, it just doesn't go well. So I'm just not. I don't have that skill, but man, that's a sound you never forget.
No.
No. All right. Were you kind and did you rewind?
I did most of the time. I think probably once or twice I forgot, but usually I was pretty good about it.
Yeah, me too. I tried to remember.
Bad things were going to happen if you didn't. You remember they even had a standalone rewinding machine if you didn't want to wear your VCR out. Do you remember this?
I do.
I never bought one. I don't remember a VCR really breaking. I got years out of my damn Sharp VCR.
Oh yeah, the shit like that lasts forever. Like we have built-in obsolescence on every device we own. Laptops last 3 years, phones last 2 years max. But VCRs, like people still have them.
Yeah. No,
they still work.
I got quite a few friends who collect VHS tapes and still have VCRs and shit, and man, what times?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're gone are the days where we don't have to worry about that. Now everything is about maximizing profit. So they want to sell us things as often as possible.
Right.
Because nobody makes any money if you'd never have to replace something.
Oh man, listen, I had a Zenith TV for 15 years and you don't hear much about Zenith TVs anymore. And it's because business.
Right. Right. Yes. All right. Okay. This one we have a visual aid on this one, partially because you have corrected the game.
Oh yeah.
Did Mario or Mavis Bacon teach you to type?
And I said neither.
Right, because you had a completely different tutorial.
Pause.
So it's funny, I'm familiar with all of these things. I've literally never used any of them. I didn't learn to type that way.
Oh.
Like, honest to God, I don't remember physically learning to type. Like,
you know what's funny? I remember I actually took keyboarding in high school.
Yeah, I did do that.
I was forced into it by the guidance counselor was like pretty insistent that I take a keyboarding class. And
as it turns out, he might have been right.
I mean, yes and no. How I learned enough. Here's what I learned. I didn't actually learn the home keys and all that shit. I still hunt peck to this day. Less hunting, more pecking. Like actually, I know where the keys are at now. Like I don't have to look. I can just.
Yeah. You just don't use.
I use 2 fingers and I go ape shit on it. But except for the 10 key, which I taught myself years later because I had a job at a bank. I can actually blind 10 key. But
I can do that too. Actually, I only buy computer laptops that have 10 key because I have to use that. I can't use the ones up here.
Oh God! Well, I just buy an external keyboard. But anyhow, right. I will say this: I can't dial a phone because I'm so used to 10 key, and the phone and the 10 key are backwards.
Absolutely, no, I have the same problem, and I already have a problem transposing numbers in my head. So because I'm used to 10 key. because that I don't have to figure out. I don't have to know. I know where the number is. Like, and then it's just it's a symbol. Like, it doesn't matter that it's a 7. I just know where that is.
Right.
Whereas on a phone and in other capacities where I have to like choose a number from here and put it in over here, I'm just not capable of that.
Oh God, I have to dial a phone number 3 times before I get it right because of the 10 key. It just fucks with my head.
Now, the one thing cell phones have done about that, though, is now if you mess up one number, you can just backspace. Like you don't. That's not it. You don't have to hang up and start over. You don't have to accidentally dial a wrong number. You can just fix it.
It's true.
Because that's what I used to do when I worked a job where I had to do a lot of phone calls and I would constantly mess up numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I get to the number I mess up and hang up and start over.
Yeah.
Every time.
But now you can back up, which is nice, but still, it's sort of a problem. But anyway, typing,
Yeah, I don't remember. I know I took a keyboarding class and I wasn't great at typing. I could type, but I wasn't great at it until AOL Instant Messenger came out.
Yeah.
And I started using that like with my sister and my mom and some friends. And because you had to type relatively fast to get your thoughts out, I just picked it up.
Yeah.
And now I type like 100 words a minute. So
I'm not sure. I'm sure I type over 45, which is pretty okay considering it's 2 fingers.
Right. Yes, particularly.
Sorry, we got to speed this the fuck up or we're going to never get finished with this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's, well, here's one. This one's easy for me because my answer is no. Someone in your family collected Marlboro points.
No.
I didn't grow up in a family of smokers.
My stepdad smoked. I guess he might have. I don't know. I don't remember it being a big deal. I don't know. I know Camel had points too. Pepsi had points. You remember Pepsi got sued because some kid wanted a Harrier jet.
Yeah,
that commercial that you could get a Harrier jet with enough Pepsi points, and this kid,
the guy won it. Like he did do it. He
got the points, and then Pepsi couldn't deliver the Harrier jet, and he sued them, and I think he won the lawsuit. I mean, he didn't get the Harrier jet, but they had to give him like a lot of money for.
Absolutely. All right, this one is easy for me too. Used collect calling to schedule pickups.
1-800-ATT right down the center. Also had a calling. Recently I was going through a box of memorabilia. I found a wallet I used to own that I had kept because it had my student ID in it, but it also had an old calling card in it. And I laughed.
Nice.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, I should give this to my kid.
Right. Yeah, I did that fell in the category of you cannot spend money when it's not pre-approved. So I could not do collect calling to get somebody to come pick me up. And so I either wasn't allowed to go do the thing because no one wanted to come pick me up or I had to pre-arrange.
Yeah.
Those were the options.
That was transportation ahead of time.
Yes, for sure. All right. This one I did a lot. Talk to a friend's parent before they could get on the phone.
Sure. Yeah. Because people had one line back in the day. You called, they had a phone in the kitchen with a very long cord on it.
Yep. And I could take that cord and go into the basement steps and close the basement door. And that's what I would do.
I used to go on the back porch with mine,
Oh, nice.
Out there on the back porch, but
nice. Yeah. I would just sit at the top steps of the basement. Although my dad had his own business. He worked full time and then he was an accountant and did his own business stuff. And so when I was a teenager and on the phone constantly, they got call waiting because my dad couldn't afford to miss a business call.
Yeah. So. They didn't just get a second line though, huh?
No, just call waiting. So I'd have to go and sometimes I'd have to take a message. So like by, 12, I was basically performing secretarial duties.
Gotcha.
All right. Did you cover textbooks with paper grocery bags?
I did. Yes.
I think that's a rite of passage for our generation. Kids now, because a lot of textbooks aren't even textbooks anymore.
Oh yeah, probably not.
You get your iPad or your laptop, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
All All right. Who didn't do this? Did you die of dysentery?
Well, not really, but I did in the Oregon Trail game for sure. I also got killed by Indians, I think, once.
Oh yeah,
Native Americans rather.
I wasn't particularly good at the game, so
no, you had to type POW to kill the buffalo, and I couldn't type very fast because I hadn't had keyboarding yet.
Right, exactly. I was decent at killing the version I had to kill the deer. You had to type bang as the deer was running across the screen. BANG, and because I actually had a version that had like the ASCII graphics.
Oh, mine was all text based. Like I had no idea what, there was nothing to see.
No, yeah, most people did. I don't know where we got this version, and I mean,
it was probably version 2.0 or something. I know it. I know they it's probably still a thing even.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you can. In case people don't know, we're talking about Oregon Trail. I don't think we actually said that.
I think I did mention it, but.
All right. Did you star 69 someone?
When I read this, my eyes popped out of my head because I thought it meant something else.
Yeah, it took me a second because I didn't catch the star.
Yeah, yes, I did. But yeah. But
imagine an era where you didn't know exactly who was calling you, like when it would say possible spam.
Oh, well, I would say, what, star 69 and caller ID actually were the end of prank phone calls.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sure.
Really put the nail in the coffin on the good old prank phone call.
Absolutely. Oh, this one is near and dear to me. Did you scam Columbia House or BMG out of free CDs and cassettes?
Did I ever? Every time if I was like a month away from moving, like at the end of a college semester, I would sign up for both under an assumed name at my current address. I would get the things, and then they'd never be able to track me down because it wasn't even in my name,
I did that in college too. I did that more than once in college with I just come up with a random name, just something dumb.
Mine was Navin R. Johnson, which was the name of the protagonist of Steve Martin's The Jerk. That was my usual nom de plume for scamming.
Nice. But yeah, because you'd get the little thing out of the magazine and you just tape the penny to it.
Nope.
And then you'd list all the thing, you'd check off. They were like, you could get 20 or something for a penny.
Yeah. And then for an additional $1.99, you get another one or something like that. I don't remember. It was like some crazy nonsense, but yeah.
But I didn't need any more after I got those 10 or whatever.
Exactly.
Absolutely, man. I did that all the time.
Sure.
But I think Napster killed that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I think streaming was the end of needing to accumulate media.
Absolutely. All right, here's one. I have a visual aid for this one. 8 from Paper Products with abstract teal and purple squiggle art. So in case anybody does not know what this looks like. So Did you eat something or drink something from these Paper Products?
I don't think you could have avoided it in the 90s.
No. And we were talking before the show, you can get like clothing with this pattern now.
Yeah, it's become nostalgic. So,
yeah, for sure. So yeah, we both did that.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, and also like my mom would get the little Dixie cups for the bathroom.
Right.
Like somehow you couldn't just scoop the water up with your hand like an adult.
Yeah.
Like everybody else does, or just put your head under the faucet.
Yeah. I remember going through a phase with that for a minute where my mom had the little Dixie cups in the bathroom, and then we never refilled them, I think, and then they went away.
Right. All right. Let's see. This one. Did you get pierced at the mall?
I got neither pierced at the mall nor anywhere.
That is fair. I did get my ears pierced at the mall. I don't wear ear. I still have pierced ears, and every once in a while I'll stick an earring in them just to make sure that, I don't know, for shits and giggles. Yeah. But I don't wear earrings anyway. But yes, it was at the mall.
Thing. Yeah, she doesn't wear them often, but once in a blue moon she'll stick them in there. It's my understanding though that you should not get pierced at the mall because there are no safety standards at all.
Correct. Yeah, it would be
you're gonna get hepatitis.
Well, yeah, and it's like high school kids, whoever they hired, like it's not a professional. And then they give them those little gun things.
Yeah.
And they have to line it up on your little baby ears and just squeeze the trigger and hope for the best.
Go to a professional piercer. Who
Yes.
has an autoclave?
I think most, I don't know that, can you even get your ears pierced in the mall anymore? Like, I don't know that that's really, I think
don't
most people know.
Okay.
now.
Well, I'm just saying, for those who don't
Yeah.
bother. Don't do that.
And piercing has become, like, outside of ear piercing, professional piercers have become a thing. Like, when I was a kid, you wouldn't go to a seedy ear piercing place.
No, the only place there was Claire's or the what was it called, the Earring Pagoda or something. In the,
right, exactly. Yeah, I went to Claire's. That's where I went.
Yeah.
And then you have to clean it. You have to use the little rubbing alcohol and clean your ears every night.
Yeah.
It's a mess, man. A total mess. Oh, look, apparently you can still get your ears pierced in Claire's.
I figured you could.
Folks, don't do that. Just don't. Just don't do it. Just go to an actual piercer. All right. What do we got here? What's next? What's next is watched The Price is Right when you were homesick from school.
That, yes. And also Days of Our Lives.
No, yeah, you just went full soap.
Is Morlena still possessed by the devil? Oh, she is. Very good.
Even though the last time you watched it was like the previous semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I never watched soap operas. I don't even think I watched them when I was sick. I mostly would watch game shows and read or whatever.
Game shows early on in the morning.
Well, true, yeah, but I don't remember what I did in the afternoon. I was sick a lot as a kid, so I have no idea what I did. But I never really watched soap operas. I might have been in the room when someone watched soap operas. But now, like a lot of the TV that I watch, I'm like, God damn it, this is a goddamn soap opera. Like, why am I watching this?
Yeah, you'll realize halfway through, you're like, I've been
how did I get involved? Why? All right, here's one that is very important to my family. 8 tan M&Ms.
And the reason you did was because the reds weren't a thing at the time because people believed that red gave you cancer.
Well, it was actually, yes, reds weren't a thing either, but blue was what replaced tan.
Oh,
it was
okay.
It was that whole contest where you could pick the color. And people overwhelmingly, because they still couldn't make red yet. They do now, but they couldn't make red yet. So they went blue, and blue was voted in. But everybody was sold a bill of goods that it would not replace any of the previous colors. And next thing you know, there's no fucking tan. My sister is still bitter about it to this day.
Oh, really?
She is angry.
Huh.
And you can't get them anywhere else too. Like you go to the M&M store or whatever.
There's no tan.
There's no tan. Like every once in a while I'll look and see if I could buy just a bag of tan M&Ms. No go. Like closest is gold.
Honestly, forgot all about them.
I will never be allowed to forget all about them.
Okay.
I know that there's a hole in my sister's heart that can only be filled by tan M&Ms.
I see.
And then they reintroduced red a couple years later when they could stop making it with cancer. So,
yeah.
Now we have every color but tan.
Okay.
All right. So, did you graduate from DARE?
That wasn't a thing yet when I was in school.
Yeah, which I'm actually surprised it's on this list.
I feel like that's actually a millennial
thing. Yeah. I agree. Like it wasn't a thing when I was in school either. And we're fairly we're
late Gen X, yeah.
Yeah, we're not the tail end of Gen X, but we're late Gen X.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised it's on this list. And I did not graduate from DARE. And even if it was a thing, I probably wouldn't have bothered. We were disaffected youth. I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Why would I do a thing?
Yeah.
That seems dumb.
Hey, sorry, I'm going to run away for just a sec. I'll be back as short as possible, okay?
Oh, okay. All right. I will fill so that we do not have dead air. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. The next one, I'm going to say it very slowly while I wait for Bill to get back. Very slowly. Usually I have no idea where Bill went. So I don't know how long I'm supposed to wait before I ask the question. Because if I ask the question too soon, then I'm just going to be staring at a dead air and a blank screen where there will not be Bill. So I have no idea. So hold on. Let's just chill with this here while we wait for Bill to come back. If I did I don't know how to do like a song and dance, or I would do that too. So yeah, it's like watching old TV shows. We're just gonna actually wait. Like, I honestly don't know where Bill went. It's his show. Where'd Bill go? Oh, I hear him.
Sorry.
I hear him.
I'm back.
I think he's
I'm
back.
Sorry, I misjudged my pre-gaming and got overzealous with too many beers before show. I couldn't wait anymore.
Could not.
Injured yourself with the slip and slide? Absolutely. I remember landing on my tailbone. Damn, I got hurt. Oh boy.
Yes.
What were the other things on here? Slip and slide and
it's slip and slide, pogo ball, a skip it, or moon shoes.
Yeah, I didn't bother with those other things. I think once you hurt yourself on one of these stupid things, you learned your lesson.
I was a risk adverse child, so I did not like. If I thought there was going to be potential for injury, I just wouldn't do it.
Right.
So I did not.
Well, you know what? And you're better off for it. Your back probably has less problems.
Although we did have, because I was the third child, and there was such an age gap. We had a lot of things that, kind of like jarts that maybe you shouldn't still have. Yeah. And we had an old, like, actual pogo stick, like a real old school pogo stick with the bike handles and just the springs.
Those things are awful. Like, if anybody can get more than 4 or 5 bounces, like that's amazing.
Yeah. You know? I would do that, but I didn't do it very often.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the clown fountain with the hat that shoots into the air. Yeah, I agree with that.
When you jump through, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to hope you don't get conked in the head with the hat.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know when it would not be, the water wouldn't go anymore.
It was hard. Well, it wouldn't go if you got between the clown's head and the hat. I mean, that was all I did was you were skipping through the water, and then the hat would come back down.
Right. Jeez. Why, how are we alive as a generation?
They basically just made a whole series of toys trying to kill kids. But then, as soon as they did kill one kid, they would have to take this toy off the shelf,
Take it off the market for sure. For sure. All right. We are nearly done, and then we can tally up our scores.
Sure.
Did you wallpaper your bedroom with posters?
You know what? I had 1 or 2 posters, but really, I would take the you remember when CDs first came out, they put them in these big long boxes.
Yes, the boxes. Yep.
Yeah. And it was because the racking system was made for LPs,
mm-hmm.
and CDs were 5 inches and LPs were 12. Is that they would put a CD in one end of.
Right.
And I used to take those said boxes and I used to stick them to my wall.
Ah.
I was, repurposing them, if you will. And that's what I used to wallpaper my room. So I didn't really use, I had 1 or 2 posters that I bought at the beach when I would go to the beach in February, and I'd buy t-shirts and posters.
Right.
I always went in the off season because they would make deals with you then. You would get, if you showed up in February and you'd come and you look around the store, and then they'd be like, hey, you actually look around at a couple of things and you'd start to walk out, and they'd go, hey kid, you're not leaving without something, are you? And you're like, well, I looked at some stuff, but I don't have a whole lot of money on me. But well, how much money do you got? How much money you got? And but I got like $16. That's about it. And they'd be like, okay, well, hey, listen, what say we sell you this T-shirt for $16? And you're like, no, I'm not. I can't spend $16 on just a T-shirt, man. I would. This is the only time in my life I ever really, besides from the flea market, remember haggling with anybody about anything. But I knew that you could haggle at T-shirt shops in the off season. And I would go in and I would walk out of there with like 2 T-shirts and 3 posters for like, $16 or whatever.
Nice. Well, so I'm not going to give you a point for that one, only because I like the CD long box idea. It's a great one. I wish I had come up with it, but I couldn't because my walls were covered in posters. And I did it like it was literally, you couldn't tell the color of my walls.
And which posters did you have?
So when I was doing that, it was pretty much in my cheese metal phase. Mm-hmm. So it was Poison and Warrant and Winger and Motley Crue and Bon Jovi. And I would also I'd get the equivalent of teen magazines for the cheese metal bands because they all had their own. And
Metal Circus, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they would all have a pull-out centerfold poster. Right. So I put those up.
Sure. Yeah.
And if there was just a page of an artist, just a full picture page of an artist that I found dreamy, I would pull that out and put that up too.
Nikki Sixx. I fucking love Nikki
Sixx. Exactly. So I had a great big poster of the lead singer of Europe because he was an adorable man.
Sure.
And it was just the full size, just close up of his goddamn face. And I had this on my wall.
Him and the guy from White Lion were both pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the cheese metal band people were pretty.
Yeah. You wouldn't say they were rugged or handsome. They were pretty guys.
No, they were pretty. No. All right. Okay. There's only one more.
All right.
Then we can close out the game. Do you still have anxiety from America's Most Wanted, Unsolved Mysteries, or Rescue 911?
I don't know that I had anxiety about those to begin with. I mean, I was anxious about the world ending, not about that crap.
Right. I remember we didn't watch a lot of it, but I was an anxious kid and I am an anxious adult. So, which is crazy because I watch true crime all the freaking time. It doesn't help. I know that I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, this is going to I'm going to have nightmares because I'm watching this, but I do it anyway. The same was true with Unsolved Mysteries and stuff. I'd watch it and be like, man, I shouldn't be watching this. And then I'd have nightmares for a week.
You know what's funny is Unsolved Mysteries doesn't concern. I was never spooked. I've never been weirded out by murderers and violent crime. I'm the kind of guy who if I watched a show about mysteries of the unexplained, that would make me lay awake at bed more. Worrying that the Yowie was going to get me. It wasn't about the Boston Strangler or anything like that. I didn't give a shit. That's just a human being. I wasn't scared of humans. I was scared of some vampire floating up to my window at night.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, I'm counting up here. So. Mm-hmm. 14. All right. Wait, how many are there total?
25.
Thanks. I didn't have as many as I thought I would.
What'd you get?
I have 17 out of 25.
I got 20 out of 25.
You did get 20 out of 25.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised at the reason this whole game came up is I had, somebody posted this game board and I downloaded it and circled all of them. And it really looked like almost everything was circled, but apparently a good chunk of it was not. So, all right, folks, what were your scores? Who got the highest score? Jay wins so far.
What's he got?
He got 22 out of 25.
Wow.
So, no marble points.
Did you get pierced with them all, Jay?
He did not get anything pierced to them all. That was one of the 3 he didn't do.
All right.
I suppose I had actually put rather than just taking his word for it, I should pop that on the screen. So, right. Jay, guess what you win? You win a Bill Has Opinions decal.
All right. I'm not going to mail it to you. I'm just going to hand it to you in a couple of weeks. How's that?
In 9 days. 9 days.
In 9 days, I will personally deliver you a decal.
Of which he probably already has.
Yeah, I'm sure, but now he's going to have one more.
Well, guess what? Congratulations. You've won that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That has been our game. I think that really does sum up a lot of the experience of Gen X for everybody. So when I was talking about the cups, Matt was looking at me skeptically from across the room, so I'm going to have to show him the cup.
He doesn't believe in the cup?
I don't know that he believes in the cup.
Huh.
So I'm going to have to show it. I don't know why he wasn't watching the show, by the way.
Yeah.
But that is a discussion for another time. So, All right, before you close us out, very exciting. We are still going to be remote next week, but we are doing a show, and it is the 3rd annual Opinion Con.
Woo!
I have been preparing for this for like a month and a half, so I've got some fun stuff.
Very excited about it.
We do enjoy it, so we'll be dressed up.
I'm excited about it, but not as excited as she is because I don't know what's going on yet.
That's true. That's true. I'm actually keeping Bill in the dark about a bunch of the things.
Being very secretive.
So we will do it's basically the pre-Dragon Con show that we have been doing for the last couple of years. And then, of course, we will be at Dragon Con, so there will be no show on Labor Day, but we might do a few shorts while we're in Atlanta.
Sure. Yeah, we should totally do a short at least. A short, if we don't get any more.
That's true. At least a short. And I think we have the last couple of years, we have done a short at least. So I think we can make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. So shall you take us out?
Absolutely. Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura agreed with them, in which case they both agreed, or vice versa. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And be sure to follow us on Facebook. Be sure to leave us some questions. Oh, we're on Instagram too, if you want to follow us there. If you leave a comment, #OpinionGang, so everybody will know that's about, about this show.
Us, yeah.
Us, yes. And otherwise, we'll see you next week for another the very exciting episode, the 3rd annual Opinion Con.
Yay! All right, folks. We'll see you then. Talk to you all soon.